Facts happen, so
Sir, okay, let me ask you this then. You live in Great Britain, right?
Yeah.
You're British?
Yeah.
Right. Where did the school systems originate?
Church of England primarily.
Right. Where did the University of Cambridge, Oxford, St Andrews, Edinburgh come from?
Yeah. No, I agree with the
No, where did
fundamentals
they
of
come
what you're saying.
from?
The Church of England.
No.
Yeah.
The Christians set them up.
Yeah.
What about Harvard, Yale, Princeton in America? Where did they come from? Which group of people started them?
Probably another religious.
No, they were
structure.
Christians who started them.
Which is another religious group.
No, it's not religious. What about, okay, what about Boots the chemist? Where does the rain come from?
Rain comes from atoms. Rain comes from the elements. Rain comes from the sky because of science.
Science?
Yes!
What does the word science mean?
The science means the oxygen we're breathing in, the trees around.
Yes! But where did the first hydrogen come from?
The Big Bang, the molecules and atoms that came together to create the universe that we live in.
Were you there? Because I wasn't.
No.
So how do you know?
Hello there. Welcome to my channel. My name is Faith Dodger and I'm literally the girl next door. Today I'm at one interesting place in London. It's called Speaker's Corner in Marble Arch. Now this place has been a place where people have held public debates and speeches since the 1800s. Isn't that interesting? Well, if you want to find out what it's like, then watch this video to the end. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Speaker's Corner is a traditional site for public speeches and debates since the mid-1800s, when protests and demonstrations took place in Hyde Park. Speaker's Corner is located on the northeast edge of Hyde Park, nearest Marble Arch and Oxford Street. Historic figures such as Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, and George Orwell were known to often use the area to demonstrate free speech. In 1872, an Act of Parliament set aside this part of Hyde Park for public speaking. Even today, on a Sunday morning, it's not unusual to find crowds gathering at Speaker's Corner to listen to enthusiasts expounding their views. Anyone can turn up unannounced to speak on any subject as long as the police consider their speeches lawful.
Why is that, do you think? It's a reflection of society at large. You live in Great Britain, right? It is one of the best countries in the world for freedom of speech. And yet, before your very own eyes, it's being eroded. Because nowadays, it's very hard to talk about sensitive topics unless you get cancelled at a university. Unless you work in a government department and they say you can't really touch that, right? And yet I don't understand this at all, because Great Britain has got a long tradition of actually encouraging people to speak their own minds, and also it encourages the general public to consider issues which may have a big impact on their own lives in the future. For example, today we think it's not strange when somebody says one man, one vote. But where did that idea originate? Didn't come from Parliament down the road. It came from a church over there in Putney. That's right, in the 1600s. There were debates in the church, and they were saying, this is crazy. The king or the queen, yeah, we know, they're the sovereign, but we are the subjects, and surely we should have a parliament that represents us common people. And they were right. So they advocated one man, one vote. And the rest is history. But some of you guys don't want to vote when the elections come around. And yet people die so that you can have a free vote. Right? Now, I know that some MPs are rascals. But you voted them in.
in.
Well,
So if there was an option to say none of these particular candidates represent my views,
Yeah.
let's have a secondary vote. Maybe people would start ticking boxes.
Well, we do that at city council elections.
No, you don't.
You have a panel of say 3 candidates,
Yeah.
and you pick first choice, second choice,
yeah.
etc.
So what if none of them, I believe?
Okay, so you're fed up with politics.
Yeah. No, I'm enthusiastic about politics.
Oh,
I just
you're
don't-
enthusiastic?
I just don't believe the standard. I hate using the word rhetoric, but I don't believe the words that most people use.
Okay.
I think it's standard now. A party line is a commonly understood phraseology that's acceptable.
Okay.
Well, I'm meant to be representing an individual,
Right.
yet I'm also told openly that individual won't share their own opinion if it's against the party line. And
Well-
then we have a whip system that stops someone from
Yeah,
being an
another
individual.
whip system. Yeah.
So really, I'm not voting for an individual. I'm voting for one singular ideology. If there was an option for me to say I believe in this person, and for them to be able to represent me in Parliament, that'd interest me. As it stands at the moment, it's just not possible.
Okay, have you ever stood for Parliament yourself?
No,
Why not?
because I'm busy looking after my family, having a proper job.
Well,
same
that's
reason,
what-
same reason I don't go to a mosque or to a church.
Well,
Because I think religion is pretty much outdated these days. I think the fundamental principle of being moralistically valued towards one another is cool.
Okay.
But we know that all of those books have been made up hundreds of years after the facts happened. So I
Sir,
don't,
okay, let me ask you this then. You live in Great Britain, right?
Yeah.
You're British?
yeah,
Right. Where did the school systems originate?
Church of England primarily.
Right. Where did the University of Cambridge, Oxford, St Andrews, Edinburgh come from?
Yeah, no, I agree with the
No, where did they
fundamentals of
come
what you're saying.
from?
The Church of England.
No.
Yeah.
The Christians set them up.
Yeah.
What about Harvard, Yale, Princeton in America? Where did they come from? Which group of people started them?
Probably another religious.
No, they were
Structure.
Christians who started them.
Which is another religious group.
No, it's not religious.
Just-
What about Boots the chemist?
I'm sure you've got an answer to that question.
Yes or no? Who started Boots the chemist?
I have no idea.
Jesse Birds of Nottingham.
Okay.
Why?
Because somebody
Why?
needed paracetamol. I don't know.
No, because he saw poor people not having medicines, right? And he was upset.
Which is
No,
great.
I'm giving you- that's
but what I'm
factual.
saying is we evolved as a
No,
as a
they haven't
species.
evolved. They looked at the problem.
No, they have evolved,
and they
because-
said, "Here's the solution."
No,
and
we-
one of them is Jesse Boots.
We
That's
have-
why you have Boots the chemist.
We have evolved because
No,
Boots
you
is-
haven't.
but Boots is no longer about providing poor people with medicine.
Hang on,
It's a
I'm
financially
talking about
profitable
the
business.
original founder,
Yeah, but
Jesse Boots. What was his vision?
Then we should all be Adam and
Okay,
Eve.
sir,
shouldn't
have
we?
you actually studied his vision about Boots the chemist? Not that people own it today, but him who started it. What did he think? You should.
Why?
Well, it's important. Without the foundation, then you come later in a generation, you got no clue why these people did these things.
No, and I don't disagree that history is important. But
Right.
what's also important is reality of now.
Okay, reality now. There's a hospital over there. Why is it called St. Mary's? And that one's St. Thomas. And that one, Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children.
Would you choose a different
I'm
hospital
asking.
based on your religious
No, I'm
historic
just
beliefs?
asking. Do you
wouldn't.
know why these places exist?
Why
This
is
is your
why is an
country.
oak tree called an oak tree?
Well, this
because
is
at
your
some point in
country.
history, it's been chosen to be called that.
Hang
That has no
on.
relevance
Why
to
those
what it
hospitals
is
so
now.
important? Who started them? Why were they started?
Two different questions. Answer the questions that you're posing, which you quite eloquently posed, are split into two different parts, and you're trying to use history
Yeah.
to answer a here and now, and they're
Why
two
not?
different answers.
Is that not legitimate?
It's not fundamentally correct.
Why?
Why? Because I don't go to Boots now because they're there to provide poor people with medicine.
I'm
I
going
go
to
there
give
'cause I
one
live in Calvert.
example. Right, do you have a bank account of Barclays or Lloyd's?
Yeah.
Right, those are Christian banks in the original.
They're not the capitalist.
No, hang
institution.
on! The people who founded Barclays,
All right.
Trustee Savings Bank,
Have a nice
they were
day.
Christians, but you don't know this. Why are you running away from history?
I'm not. I'm running away from a conversation which
Well,
is
then
unreasonable,
have
and you
a
can't reason
well,
with
we
a
have
lack
a
of
good
reason.
dialogue, right? Some things maybe you don't know about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do know, that my wife is far more scary than you are, and she's probably getting bored of it.
No, that's blaming the wicked sex.
Oh, she's not the weak. Wow. You want to see that guy?
Yeah. Come on, my friend. All these issues, I'm just pointing out the tip of the iceberg. Okay.
Have a great day.
Thank you, and you too. Yeah, why not?
Because they didn't have the money.
No, come on.
Because the vast majority of people at the time were religious.
Not really.
And their spirit of kindness was informed by the religion. Doesn't mean that somebody who it doesn't believe is incapable of such views.
Okay, right. People in Africa today are always surprised to discover that the people that actually go out to the mission fields, start up hospitals, deep away from the urban areas, are atheists? No, they're Christians. Why?
No, there are non-religious groups out there working in
You can go to
Africa.
any part of Africa, for example, today, and people will tell you, yes, Dr. David Livingstone. Well, there's nobody comparable to him from the atheist world.
There is.
Why? Who?
Albert Schweitzer.
Albert Schweitzer was a very confused old man, and he actually believed
That's how
in
you
God.
went to ad hominem, attacking the man instead of his
No, if
He
you read
was
Albert,
a secular visionary, just like the ones you're citing.
no, really, Albert Schweitzer is very confused about the identity of Christ, but he still read the Bible because he feared God. Okay, how about you read this book?
No one fears a man in the clouds. No one fears a moral.
Okay, where does the rain come from?
Rain comes from atoms. Rain comes from the elements. Rain comes from the sky because of science.
Science?
Yes!
What does the word science mean?
The science means the oxygen we're breathing in, the trees around
Yes! But where did the first hydrogen come from?
the Big Bang, the molecules and atoms that came together to create the universe that we live in.
Were you there? Because I wasn't.
No
So
one
how
was
do you
there.
know?
No one was, because there.
Was anyone there when Jesus?
Yeah, was anyone there for Jesus?
Yes.
Oh yes, no, the Romans were there for Jesus. There is not a single Roman scripture that shows that Jesus set foot on ground.
Here's, have you read the Annals of Roman History by
Some
Vladimir the Younger?
unverified footprint.
Have you read this book?
No one has read this
Sir, young man, have you read this book?
book. No,
Do you know what it is?
no,
It's a Roman book,
no.
written by a Roman senator and a Roman emperor. He's not a Christian, he's not Jewish, and he says Jesus existed, and under Pontius Pilate, we did kill him. Okay? That's his own words.
This whole term, equality, what does it mean? Are we equal? No, we're not. We're different. We're not even equal to ourselves on a good day. A sports person will tell you that. Men and women are not equal. We're different. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. In certain circumstances, they might be, one way or the other. But we're supposed to rely upon each other, not have elite people tell us that one's holding the other one down. Some people do hold people down. We all face that in life, and I was being bullied by a bloke at work recently, young bloke, much younger than me, and I talked to my supervisor about it and said, I'm not putting up with this at my age. I was being gaslit. If anyone knows what gaslighting means, well, I mean, accused of things in a manipulative way which weren't true. And this guy was really good at it too, but he won't do it again. And we all face that, whether you're a man or a woman. So let us start talking amongst ourselves and what our life experiences told us. I think one of the problems is when we think about people, we think about what we've seen on TV with movies. We don't actually really know people like we used to, like people used to. We don't have grandparents, others, uncles, aunties, whether they're nice or not nice. We don't have villages where we hear about people as much, especially in the city. We watch TV, and of course the script writers are usually ideologically motivated. Most people don't know that, and they're trying to bring in changes where they think the world will be made a better place. Well, often they're not actually right about it. They don't see the complexity between men and women and the differences. Men and women will always annoy each other, but men and women also need each other, and we fill in different roles. But it doesn't mean women shouldn't be allowed to do things that men are allowed to, but you've got to be able to do it to get the job, and the same goes for a man. You don't just give the job to a person because they fit a description which you don't see in the workplace, because that's nonsense. In this country, we never used to train as many women to become qualified doctors as we did men, and that sounds really sexist on the top of it. We say, well, why would they do that? And Harriet Harman and the House of Lords, and it was a big battle. So now we have as many women to become doctors as men. But the difference is that a lot of women get to 30, where you become a qualified doctor or a GP, and you can go on to specialise. They retire because they want a family. So now what's happening is we don't have enough doctors. Men or women don't have enough doctors. So there was a reason why they did that, because men and women make different choices. I'm not having a go at women for having families, but there's I think it's wonderful. But there are reasons why they had these things in societies did. It was to protect the people in the long run. And it can be taken advantage of by corrupt people, always is. But on the whole, there was a reason. So it's good to look into these things.
Discussions here do get heated at times, but it is well worth coming to listen and join in if you can. I hope you've enjoyed the snippets I've showed you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.